Vasilisa the Beautiful. Retold by Joop van der Wolf. Illustrated by Tania Recio. Once upon a time in a town in Russia, there lived a man with his wife and his daughter. The little girl was very pretty, and everybody called her Vasilija the Beautiful. When the girl was 8 years old, her mother got very sick. Mother called Vasilisa to her bed, gave her a small wooden doll, and said, "My precious one, take this doll. It is magical. Do not show it to anybody and do not speak about her. When you have a problem, give her food and something to drink, and she will help you." Then the mother kissed her little girl. The mother died the next day. That night, Vasilisa hid in the closet with a small piece of bread and some water. She said to her doll, "Eat this and drink this." The doll came to life. She ate the bread and drank the water. "What is your problem, girl?" said the doll. Vasilisa said to the doll, "My name is Vasilisa. I am terribly sad. My mother died and I cannot sleep." "It is normal to be sad, Vasilisa. At night, problems look bigger. Go to bed, rest, and tomorrow you will feel better," the doll said. Vasilisa did what her doll said, and she felt better the next day. Vasilisa's father married again the following year. His new wife was a widow, a mother of 2 girls. But the girls were ugly, and the mother was envious of Vasilisa's beauty. The stepmother gave her difficult tasks to do, but Vasilisa never complained and did all the tasks well. With time, she grew more and more beautiful. The stepmother's own daughters didn't help in the house, and they grew uglier and uglier. How can she work so hard and not suffer, they thought. The answer was the wooden doll. Every night when the family had fallen asleep, Vasilisa took her doll to the closet, gave her some bread and water, and told her about her problems. The doll said, "Don't worry, pretty Vasilisa. I will help you with your chores." The doll started to work for Vasilisa, and Vasilisa finished her task easily. The following day, the girl had her doll with her in her pocket at all times. Some years later, men came to the house and asked Vasilisa to marry them. Rich men, poor men, short men, tall men, friendly men, and unfriendly men. But the stepmother said, "My daughters will marry first, and then you, Vasilisa." The stepmother's daughters were so ugly, and they had such a bad attitude, that no man wanted to marry them. Vasilisa's father had to travel to many places and was away from home for long periods of time. One day, when the father was on a trip, the stepmother and the sisters made an evil plan. They told Vasilisa that there was no fire in the house. "Go to the little house in the forest and get some fire," they ordered Vasilisa. In the little house in the forest lived an old witch called Baba Yaga. The garden in her house was full of human bones. Baba Yaga saw Vasilisa and asked, "What is it that you want, pretty girl?" "I want some fire." "Of course, but you need to do 3 things for me. If you finish the 3 tasks, I will give you fire. If you don't do the task, well, I will eat you." Then Baba Yaga and Vasilisa had dinner, and the witch assigned the 3 tasks: clean the enormous yard, sweep all the dirty floors, and make supper. At night, the girl told the doll about her task. As usual, the doll said, "Do not worry, pretty girl, I will help you." The next morning, Baba Yaga left the house. Vasilisa walked to the yard. It was already clean and the floors were already swept. So the girl cooked the witch's dinner and rested. Baba Yaga came back home at night and she was surprised. "You did the 3 tasks very well. Tomorrow you need to do 3 more tasks. If you do them well, I will give you fire. If you don't finish your work, I will eat you." Then Vasilisa and Baba Yaga had dinner, and the witch told the girl her new task: sweep the floors and cook dinner. However, the 3rd task was almost impossible to do. In the barn, there was a huge mountain of wheat and beans, and they were mixed. Vasilisa had to separate the wheat from the beans. At night, the girl cried and gave her little doll some soup and bread. The doll said, "Do not worry, pretty girl. I will help you with the 3rd task." Vasilisa went to sleep. The next morning, Baba Yaga said, "Remember to do the 3 tasks, because if you don't, I will eat you for dinner." Vasilisa went to the barn. The wheat and the beans were already separated, so the girl swept the floors and cooked dinner. Baba Yaga arrived home at night. She said, "I cannot believe it. You finished the 3 tasks again? How is it possible? How can you be so strong and fast?" Vasilisa almost mentioned the doll, but fortunately she kept her secret. Instead, she said, "It was my mother's love that keeps me strong." The witch's face turned red. She was very angry. She shouted, "What? Love? I don't want any love in this house. Get out this moment. Here's your fire." The witch gave the girl a human skull with eyes of fire. "Get out." Vasilisa left the house and walked home. The night was dark. When she arrived at the stepmother's house, the house was dark because no fire would burn in the house. The stepmother and daughters were desperate. Vasilisa entered the house with a skull, and the stepmother lit a candle with the witch's fire. Then the fire in the skull's eye got bigger and bigger, and the fire attacked the evil stepmother and her two daughters. All three of them died instantly. In the morning, Vasilisa buried the skull in the garden. The girl was alone in the house. What can I do? She thought. She decided to make a big piece of cloth. She worked, and the cloth was very beautiful and very thin. She sold a piece of the cloth to the market to buy food. A man from Trask Palace bought it, but the workers at the palace couldn't make a shirt for the Trask with the cloth because the quality was so fine. They called Vasilisa to make the shirt. The Trask saw Vasilisa and fell in love with her. He asked her to marry him, and they lived happily ever after. Vasilisa, the Pretty Little One, retold by John Vanderwolf. There was once a man in Mexico who lived with his wife and daughter in a small town in the mountains of Oaxaca. The girl's name was Vanessa, the Pretty One. When the girl was 8, her mother got very sick, and they took her to the hospital in the city. Before the mother died, she gave Vanessa a corn husk doll.